All right, welcome. This is DB Talking Now, DB Talking Birds, DB Talking Philadelphia Eagles. As you guys know, I ended a stream about an hour ago, going on a huge rant about the offense and how they performed today in today's training camp practice, and it was not good enough. In fact, it was absolutely disastrous. One of the questions that I was asked as I ended the previous stream was it wasn't even a question. It was actually a statement by one of my loyal subscribers, Enter Zone, was that they're probably just going to run the ball more. And to follow up on that comment there, you're probably right. Enter Zone, they probably are going to run the ball. This coaching staff is very high on Jordan Howard. Jordan Howard is having a phenomenal training camp. And look, if Jordan Howard is in the process of revitalizing his career, speaking of the running backs, if Jordan Howard is in the process of revitalizing his career, that's a phenomenal thing. It really is. It's a phenomenal thing. And I say that because Jordan Howard is still a young running back. He really is. He's 26 or 27 years old. He's one of those guys who is a power runner and can get things done. Now, the issue is this, in my opinion, I've always been one of those guys who I wish your starting running back can do it all. Unfortunately, our starting running back has not been able to do it all since his rookie year. And obviously, who am I referring to? I'm referring to Miles Sanders. Miles Sanders has been having a hard time catching the ball out of the backfield, and I have a problem with that. So what does that mean? The message since Nick Sirianni has been hired is, we're going to use our players, and we're going to use them to their strengths. If they're good at one thing, that's great. We're going to use them, and we're going to use them for that one thing that they're great at. If there's another player that's great at that one thing that other player wasn't great at, then we're going to blah, 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 blah. So Miles Sanders is phenomenal at running the ball. He gets small within between the tackles, and that's great. He's shifty. Miles Sanders is a great runner. Jordan Howard apparently is impressing the coaching staff, and he is back to his normal self, and he's a great runner. So if they can run the ball with Jordan Howard and Miles Sanders, I'm all for it. If it works, I'm all for it. They have Kenny Gainwell. Who Elliott Shore-Parks, who, by the way, loves to chart each and every single play at training camp. Kenny Gainwell has caught 17 balls, which is the most out of any running back throughout training camp so far. So clearly they're using him to catch the ball. They can use him. They can use him in the receiving game, and that's fine. I'm all for that. So to answer the statement from the previous stream about an hour ago, they probably are going to run the ball, especially if Jalen Hurts continues to look the way that he looked today. Which, God, I hope he doesn't. But we still have a little bit more than a month to go before week 1 of the regular season. We'll see. But Mike Nixon, welcome to the chat, my dude. Let's see what you got to say. Let's get to the questions. Mike Nixon says there was a brawl at Cowboys camp involving Donald and Corner Williams, and also Pollard punched a ram. I did not hear about this. So they had joint practices today. Was it in Dallas or was it in? Okay, so it was at Cowboys camp. Look, I really don't know what to say. It's summertime. Look, it's hot out. The heat's gonna get to some players. There's gonna be some brawls. You shouldn't punch anybody. I spoke about this the other day when it came to the Giants brawl. The difference between this and the difference between this and the Giants brawl is that the Giants brawl was teammates, and so like I had a specific opinion about that. You shouldn't necessarily do that, or at least it shouldn't have gotten to the point that it got to. This things happen, training camp brawls happen. Punches should not be flying. I'm sorry, punches should not be flying. I remember growing up, and I remember playing in in the backfield and in parks and on the streets and bare feet with my friends. And no matter how frustrated we got, we never took punches at each other. And we were big fans of the game growing up, and so like we tried to emulate the game and the training camp practices as much as we could. And if we could get our hands on pads, at like play it against sports or something like that, we would. And I grew up in Arizona. It's hot here, so like, I just there's alternative ways. You know what I mean? That's kind of where I'm getting at. There's alternative ways. You don't need to throw punches. In that moment, I understand. I get it. I get the frustration, but like, keep your frustrations of the play internal, and then take it, and then move it on to the next play, bro. That's kind of what you got to do. That's kind of what, like, you don't hear about Tom Brady throwing punches. You know what I mean? You never heard about Peyton Manning throwing punches. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't just. Did Brian Dawkins ever throw a punch? Has Fletcher Cox ever thrown a punch? No. Have you ever heard of that? No. Come on. Be smart. Don't be like. Big Play Slay, welcome back. Welcome back to the chat, bro. Welcome back to the chat. Told you I was going to be back in an hour, my man. Big Play Slay says, just got back from work. My mom's tired and it's hot as hell, but what up? Well, tell your mom. Did your mom pick you up? Tell your mom it's phenomenal. Hey, if your mom's still picking you up from work, dude, I mean, that's great. And kudos for you, and kudos to you for the job, and kudos to your mom for teaching you that it's the smart thing to do to get the job at your age, which is great. My first job, honestly, I got right away when I turned 15. I turned 15, obviously when I was in ninth grade in my high school. So all the pretty girls were like, what happened to him? Well, I'll tell you what happened. I started working at AMC, and like they started to give me like free slushies and popcorn, and I couldn't like deny that. I'm sorry. That's what happened. I gained a little bit of weight in high school. It's not a big deal. Mike Nixon says, I mean, I'm surprised anyone would want to fight Aaron Donald. Yeah, you don't. Yeah, you don't want to fight Aaron Donald. You don't want to fight Aaron Donald. It's just not smart. It's just not smart. I mean, like, that's a cowboy move. Look, here's you want my honest opinion about the Cowboys? You want my honest opinion about the Cowboys? This is not what this stream was supposed to be about, but this is absolutely why I love doing live streams instead of like the pre-recorded videos. Is because you guys throw your questions in here and it keeps it spontaneous. I don't think much is going to change for the Cowboys this season. I really don't. I really don't think much is going to change for the Cowboys. Yeah, are they going to earn a couple more wins? Yeah, probably. They have a better defensive coordinator. I think they're gonna get a couple more wins. Dak Prescott is injured again. Zeke still has fumbling issues, but as far as like accountability and personality, like I'm sorry. Like there's just something. The bad luck. I mean, Stephen A. Smith loves to talk about this, and like honestly, I don't watch those guys anymore because I can't stand them anymore. Because Max Kellerman like drove me up a wall. Like they drove me up a wall, like giving Max Kellerman the concept, like the topic of Carson Wentz, and it was the same fucking opinion about Carson Wentz every single week. And I couldn't stand it anymore. But Stephen A. Smith has a point in the sense of this, which is the Cowboys just run into the same fucking wall that they run into every single year, which is they always run into bad luck or whatever it is. Big Play says, I work with her. She does Uber Eats, so I help out. Nice, bro. Nice. It's good to help out. That's good to help her out. That's good. Always help out your mom when you can. Always help out your mom when you can. It's extraordinarily important. Even when, and this is, I mean, it's all family members, honestly. It's like there's always going to be a point where a family member is going to drive you up the fucking wall. But, at the end of the day, it's always important to remember that, they will be there for you when you need them. And so, yeah, help her out. Help her out when you can. Proud of you. Proud of you, Big Billy say. Big Play Slay says, wait, how old are you? Now, I am 30. I am 30 and I will be 31 in January. So I'm getting there. I'm getting up there. Getting up there, brother. Mike Nixon says, you want my honest opinion of the Cowboys? Shit. Yeah, that's exactly right. Big Play says, honest opinion about the Cowboys, Giants, and Washington football team. And then the middle finger. Nice. Big Mike Nixon says, right back at you, Big Play says. So let's get to the Philadelphia Eagles. Okay, so all right. I want to talk about this running game. The running game is obviously probably the bright spot of this team. The bright spot, the other bright spot is the offensive line, but let's talk about the running game first. Kerryon Johnson looks good. He's not the brightest running back on the team so far this camp. Boston Scott's having a phenomenal camp. This is a hard thing for me to say, and therefore I'm not going to say it, but I am going to explore the option of it, which is we've seen Boston Scott at his best. We've seen and Boston Scott at his best is reminiscent of a starting running back. Therefore, Boston Scott at his best can do what a starting running back can do, which is shifty, running the ball, and then also can catch out of the backfield. And those are two things that Miles Sanders is not doing right now, which is two things that are worrying me. I'm not saying that Miles Sanders is in jeopardy of losing his starting job. I don't think he is, but I'm just saying, I just wish Miles Sanders could adopt the ability to catch the ball out of the backfield. That's all I'm saying. Like if Kenny Gainwell, if he could adopt Kenny Gainwell's ability to catch the ball out of the backfield, that would be great. And I think Miles Sanders has that but somewhere along the line, it drifted off into the void. It drifted off into nothingness, and I have no fucking clue as to where it went. But it was there his rookie year, and then last year it disappeared, and then so far this year in camp it's been nil and void. So I'm wondering where it has gone. But Boston Scott has looked great. Kenny Gainwell has looked great. Jordan Howard has looked great. Kerryon Johnson has looked good. Hell, even Jason Huntley has had a great camp. This entire running back room has looked phenomenal, and that's the thing. You know, like, I'm not gonna make a big deal about Jason Huntley having a great camp. Like, I feel like they're gonna, like, every single offseason they have to make tough decisions, and unfortunately, this is what it's gonna come down to. You know, Miles Sanders, Jordan Howard, Boston Scott, and Kenny Gainwell. You know, and if they're gonna keep a fifth running back, I think it's going to be Kerryon Johnson. I mean, he's young. He's only like 24, and he's just too talented. I mean, he's too talented and too young. I mean, his talent and his age like just pair up too well to just get rid of him. That's the thing. So I think Jason Huntley is the odd man out, unfortunately. So. Andrew Zone, welcome back to the chat, bro, and thank you. Yeah, no. So I commented. So that's how I started off. This stream, my man. Is your comment at the end of the last stream, which is exactly what I think that they will do. The coaching staff is in love with Jordan Howard and how he's performed throughout this camp, and I think they're going to mix him and Miles Sanders together really well. That's my hope. And then use Kenny Gainwell in a Nyheim Hines sort of role, which is going to work out perfectly. That's what I think is going to happen. That's exactly what I think is going to happen. It's crazy, isn't it? Like, I mean, this feels like the first time in a very, very long time. This might be the first time that I can ever remember the Eagles running back room being this strong. Like, it is outstandingly strong. Jordan Howard, who is once a starting running back and had phenomenal and was like second to Zeke Elliott in production, because they came out of the same draft. And Miles Sanders, obviously, who we know was drafted. Obviously, we know what not Miles can do. Miles can do a lot of great things, and Miles is good. Miles is really good. He just needs to fucking catch the ball. If Miles can fucking catch the ball, Miles will be a fucking great running back. If Miles can like catch the ball consistently, that's it. It's over. It is over. If Miles can fucking catch the ball consistently, there is no question. It's done. Like, the conversation is over. But Kenny Gainwell is going to be a good running back. Again, he was one of those guys that I wanted the Eagles to draft no matter what. Kerryon Johnson, I think, was a great signing. He's still young. He's like 24. And so that was a phenomenal signing. And yeah, this is Boston Scott. Boston Scott, we know what he can do. So the running backs are fine. But what we need to worry about, and moving on from the running back, now that we got that covered, let's talk about the wide receivers. And we're going to talk about the wide receivers in regards to this. Let's say the Eagles trade for a wide receiver that is above average, that you can actually consider a second string wide receiver, opposite that can come in and either like play right next to fucking Devontae Smith. Who would that guy be if he's available? Who would that guy be? It could either be a guy that's on the last year of a rookie contract. It could be a guy that's making too much money that a team needs to get rid of. Those are the options, because that's how guys become available. Whether a guy that he's on the last year of a rookie contract and they're not sure, or he's making too much money, and because the Eagles have a decent amount of money now. So we're moving away from the quarterback conversation just for at least maybe at least a day. We'll see how I feel tomorrow. Or we'll see how I feel at the end of this stream, because we'll see how I feel for the moment. Andre Patton, here's what I'll say. Andre Patton was not a bad signing. I'll say that because he got some snaps with the Chargers, and the Chargers used Andre Patton. My issue is this: he has not gotten a lot of snaps with us since he's been with us. That's my issue with Andre Patton. And these wide receivers are dropping off like flies, and I just wish they wouldn't. And I was one of those guys who was a big advocate for Julio Jones. And guys, I hate to say it, I know some of my followers on here were not. But guys, I hate to say it. This is kind of why I was a huge advocate for Julio Jones, because a part of me believed that this shit was going to happen. We were going to experience this bullshit at wide receiver. There were too many other fucking question marks outside of Devontae Smith. I did. I had faith in Devontae Smith. I had faith that Devontae was going to come in and be that guy that was going to be reminiscent of a guy that we haven't had in a long, long time. But outside of him, come on. Why am I losing watchers? Enterzone says the Eagles aligned themselves about Jalen Hurts. I don't think they are. No, they're not. No, the Eagles know. No, the Eagles know that they're not sure about Jalen Hurts. The Eagles know that they're not sure about Jalen Hurts. They're going to trade for Deshaun Watson. If you want my honest opinion. Enterzone, it's going to happen. They're going to trade for Deshaun Watson. When it happens, I don't know. But how he has this year to protect his job, and Jeffrey Lurie is not going to let us have this bad of a season again. And so they got to do something. They got to do something. So, Howie's had a phenomenal offseason. I'll say that. But if Jalen does not turn it around, and Jalen needs to turn it around quickly, because I'm sorry, you can't be picked off. You cannot be picked off in the middle of the field by no matter how many high regards I have about Jacoby Stevens. Jacoby Stevens played safety in college for LSU. He's playing linebacker in the NFL. And the day before he got that interception on Jalen Hurts, he misread that play and overbit on the play action. And then the day after, he got the interception. For a guy who's fighting for a job to be the franchise quarterback of an organization, you should not throw an interception like that to a rookie who not only got blasted the day before, but is also transitioning to a new position. No matter how I feel about Jacoby Stevens, like, honestly, and that's just one piece of it. They're gonna trade, yeah. And Anderzone says, I see that happening too. Yeah, a ton of people do. Like, we saw the rumors that came out on Thursday night, and they came out in droves on Thursday night. There was only one report that came out that contradicted the droves of reports. There was only one report that came out on Friday morning that contradicted the droves on Thursday night, and I'm sorry, one report versus droves. You do the math. Now, I mean, like, in my previous stream, like, obviously I was bringing up Aaron Rodgers, and I don't think that that's going to happen. I mean, I obviously think Aaron Rodgers is going to be in Green Bay this season, the entire season, and Deshaun Watson really is the only option, honestly, right now, as far as high-profile quarterbacks to be traded. He really is the only option. And there isn't a quarterback in next year's draft who is better, who is worthy. So bring in Deshaun Watson. If they bring in Deshaun Watson now, I'll tell you this. If they can bring in Deshaun Watson and keep that one of their first round picks for this draft, they'll be okay. And I'll tell you why. Just Deshaun Watson's hearing isn't until February. So, like, he'll be able to play this season. That's a full season. You'll be able to see what he can do. If he is convicted as guilty in February, then you can go ahead and draft the quarterback in April. If, like, Sam Howell or one of these other quarterbacks decide to have a phenomenal fucking final season at their respective colleges, that deems them worthy of a early round first round pick, and then the Eagles can trade up. You know what I mean? It's that simple. It really is that simple. The Eagles are not in a bad spot. The Eagles are not in a bad spot. They're not in a bad spot even after they trade for Deshaun Watson. The Eagles can trade for Deshaun Watson, and then they can still get a top 5 quarterback in next year's draft. They can still do it. It's not like we saw them go from fucking 16 to 2 for Carson Wentz. Like, I don't know what else to say. And my honest opinion on that is I think the trade for Deshaun Watson, if they made it, would be our first round pick this year, our first round pick next year, and then one of the second round picks this year. And the Eagles so far would have 2 first round picks this year, 2 second round picks this year as well, and then a third round pick, fourth round pick, fifth round pick, and then so on and so forth. So there's that. But apparently Carson Wentz is coming back earlier than expected, so we'll just have to see. But this is DB Talking Now, DB Talking Birds, DB Talking Philadelphia Eagles. I might be back on with you guys at 8 o'clock or maybe even 7 o'clock. I'll have to see. I plan on doing a lot today, so that was my plan. Because I know I wanted to kind of update you guys and kind of be with you guys a lot before the preseason, before the first preseason, and I just wasn't able to do that due to work constraints. So that's I'm kind of making up for it. But Enter Zone and Mike, thank you so much for being involved. And Big Play Slay, thank you for joining, and I appreciate it. I will be back on with you guys later today, and I hope you guys can join back with me. This is DB Talking Now, DB Talking Birds, DB Talking Philadelphia Eagles. Go Birds, baby, and you guys have a beautiful, beautiful evening. Thank you.